Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks. Now, a lot of you have asked me why I haven't been filming videos as often as I was before, and it's quite simple. The truth is I just didn't feel like I had a lot of good content to create and share with you guys. So I kind of got in a rut during the quarantine period. Here in California, our restrictions have been a lot more than other areas, so there wasn't a whole lot that I can do. There weren't really places that I could go, and I filmed a bunch in this fish room, and I just kind of got into a rut where I didn't feel like it was worth making a video about just something mediocre. I wanted it to be something that all of you would enjoy or be worthwhile. So that's why I haven't been filming as often as I have been before. And then the other reason is I've just been extremely busy with my day job. During this period, we've had less staff working for our company, so I've had to take on additional projects, and I've just been buried with a lot of work. So between those two, those are really, big factors as far as my upload sequence. But anyway, a lot is coming in the near future. I've got some exciting videos in store that I will be sharing with you guys, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, I did get a new fish. I've been playing around with different fish tanks in my fish room and upstairs, and I will be sharing those with you in the future. And I had this blackwater tank that I made a video about several months ago, a year ago. It's been a long time. Maybe about a year ago or more, I don't know. Anyway, we did some different fish in there, and I never really loved this tank. I always kind of felt like it was just okay. Wasn't in love with it. Liked the fish, but just was kind of bored with this tank, so I decided to move those fish. Now, one of the things that I don't like doing is I don't like getting rid of my fish unless there's a real good reason getting rid of them. So I just moved them to another aquarium. I put them in my planet tank upstairs, and so I've got the Bolivian ram up there. I've got the Tetras upstairs. The Pleco is in another tank over here. So I just moved the fish around and took them all out of this 40-gallon breeder because I wanted to do something different, new, exciting in this tank, and I got that fish today. So the fish that I got, I haven't even put him in the tank yet. It is a dragon puffer, and we'll take him out of the bag here shortly, and I'll take some footage so that you guys can see it. But it's kind of hard to see through two bags. But this guy is a really, really interesting freshwater puffer. I believe these come from Southeast Asia. They do like a lot of tannins and darker water. So I thought this would be a perfect tank for this fish because it was a blackwater tank, or it's not very black, but there's tannins in there, there's leaves and wood and stuff like that, lots of hiding places, and there are a ton of snails in there, so it would be a good snack for this puffer to have. So anyway, they're an ambush predator. They probably are pretty shy, so I don't know how often we're going to see them, but my hope is to be able to coax this fish out with some yummy treats from time to time. I did get a chance to film some of these up close a while back when I went to Backyard Aquatics and filmed their fish room. They've got these really amazing, brilliant eyes, and so I hope that I can share some of that cool footage with you guys in the future. And I thought this would be a fun fish for me to keep. It's something new that I haven't kept before, and something new for this fish room. Now, before we unbag the fish and put him in the tank, I am going to share with you guys that I have something super, super exciting in the works. This is like the biggest thing that's ever happened to me in my fish keeping hobby. I can't tell you guys what it is yet, but I am going to be taking a tour of this location next week, and it is potentially like the biggest thing that's happened for me as far as fish keeping is concerned. So I hope to be able to film when I'm there and take you guys along for the journey. It's kind of a little bit of a field trip, so to speak. And then we've got another field trip in the near future, as well as there's something else that's opening up again here in California. So I'm super excited to take you guys along with me. And then I also have some new additions in this fish room, some new stuff that happened kind of out of nowhere. So we'll make a video about that as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and let's get this puffer unbagged and into the aquarium. Now let's talk a few things about adding fish to an aquarium. One of the things that we want to do is we always want to make sure that we do a quarantine process, because we don't want to infect other fish in the aquarium. Because this is going to be the only fish in this tank, I don't have to worry about that. Normally what I would do is I would put this fish or a fish in another tank, and I've got some other fish in other tanks right now going through quarantine, and I would medicate those fish and observe them and make sure that they don't have any parasites or injuries and things like that before I introduce them to the tank that they're going to live in. But in this case, this is the only fish that's going to be in here, so essentially he's going to quarantine in his full home. Now, it is good to have a quarantine tank, and it is good to use a smaller aquarium when you're running medications, because then you can observe easier. It's usually bare bottom. You don't have to use as much medication, so it's cheaper. But in this case, I am trying to stress the fish as little as possible. I don't want to stress the fish out by putting it in one tank and then medicating it and then taking it out and putting it in another tank. So I'm going to do it all in this 40-gallon tank. Now the other thing is I would normally do what we call the plop and drop, where I would cut the bag open, have a net hanging over a bucket, dump the fish into the net, and then put just the fish into the tank. Now because this is a puffer, because they do puff up, I don't want to do that. I want to try to keep this fish in water the whole time. Now ideally I don't want to introduce water from another system into my aquarium. But in this case, I feel like it's better for the fish to do it that way. And again, because he's going to be the only one in here, I'm not really worried about parasites or anything since I am going to be treating. And then the last thing is about temperature. Normally what you'd want to do is you'd want to float the bag in the aquarium to match the tank water temperature with the bag temperature. But because this entire room is heated, the entire room is heated, so this fish has been sitting here for about 30 minutes or so. So the temperature in the bag is the same as essentially the temperature here in this tank. So I could just go ahead and make that move. Well, we've added the puffer into the aquarium, and as you can see, it's not doing a lot. So as I shared, you know, they are just kind of an ambush predator. So what they'll do is just kind of hide like in a plant or under some leaves or behind some wood or something like that. And they will ambush anything that comes by them. So I don't anticipate this fish doing a lot of swimming around, especially in the near future as it's getting acclimated to the new aquarium. But as I shared, I do hope to be able to coax this guy out with some yummy treats in the future so that we can continue to get some nice close-ups of him. Well, I realized that wasn't the most fascinating, tantalizing B-roll of a fish just kind of hanging out, but still, just the beauty of the fish, just the weirdness, just the odd shape of the fish and the behavior I still find fascinating, even though it's not darting around or doing fun things like a mud skipper or an Oscar cichlid. I still am fascinated with this fish. It is really brilliant, even though it kind of has muted colors. I'm really fascinated by the browns and the golds, that eye that's kind of red and orange and gold and green. It's just really, really cool fish. They do grow to be about 7 or 8 inches or so. So it's probably about 4 inches or so right now. So it's a pretty good size, and it will maybe double in size in the future as it you know, grows up and eats and things like that. So anyway, I am just really excited to have something new in the fish room to share with all of you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Now, if you have not done so already, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell, because I guarantee that you are going to like what we have coming up in the near future. So over the next couple of weeks, I will be revealing some cool things, some very, very exciting things, and we will go on a couple of trips outside of the fish room. We'll go out and do some adventure stuff together, and I want to bring you guys along with me. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have ever kept a dragon puffer or any other oddball puffer, comment down below what you've kept, how you've kept them, what you like about them. If you've never kept one of these, comment down below what you think about it. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.